all new. AM 1150 WTMP.com.
You getting up in the world? Yo, Virgin.
Okay. I'm like, we're at that point in time again where all the elephants have arrived in the room and we're getting ready to do our thing, and you know our thing is different than the thing you've been hearing all day today so far. So we for the crossover. we for the crossover. There's a line in the middle of stuff, and see, there she is. I knew she was coming. So good. So, folks, welcome to Porch Talk Radio. Welcome to Porch Talk Radio on this Saturday morning. We got your gang of elephants and one individual that may not be a member of the gang of elephants. I know she is similar to us. Maybe not be as far right as we are, but it depends on what the situation is and what the conversation is, because she may be far right, more actively right than any of us in the room. So again, we're going to get started with the show in a couple of minutes. I'm going to give you the information. So for those who don't know it by now,
don't know it by now.
Sorry. Thank you very much.
we have fun here. Somebody called me one day and said we have too much fun.
Ain't no such thing.
I don't. Yeah, that's what I said.
Like too much money.
I understand certain things. There's certain things in life that you cannot get too much of, and use your own brain to figure that that part of it out. Yeah, you can't laugh too much. You can. And when you laugh too, it hurts. That still ain't too much. So the call-in number, WTMP, this Saturday morning, Porch Talk Radio, with your host Eddie Adams Jr. And we have Gabriel Phillips here, and we have Willie. Willie Lawson here.
I was off a week. I'm sorry.
Thank you very much.
Willie Lawson here, and we have a special guest that we'll get to talking to here in a little bit. But we want to make sure you can call in. Now, there is somebody who's making the table do funny things. Yeah. So anyway, call in number WTMP 813-251-9867. 813-251-9867. My cell phone number. And last week, nobody, without Willie Lawson's, coaching, called in when I gave the number out.
I tried.
But Willie's here, but I know he has no audience listening currently. So
I have minions everywhere.
My phone didn't ring when I gave the number out
all
last
over the
week.
country listening on the internet.
So I figured wherever Willie was, he wasn't telling people to call in. So my first personal cell phone number, Eddie Adams Jr., 813-230-3312.
Do it right now. Call now.
813. Standing by.
230-3312.
It's okay.
My email address is Eddie, EDDIE, at porchtalkradio.com. So if you want to get in contact with us, you can call us, you can email us, and you got all the vital information. We give it out at the beginning of the show, because people say, well, why you don't give it out during the show? Well, listen next week and you'll get it again at the top of the show. That's how we do it. Everybody's got their own way of doing it, and I figure you are probably the most intellectual audience that's going to tune in all day. And I know that's a compliment, but I also know it's probably true. Mm-hmm. So that being said, we're gonna let Connie sit through some of this stuff, because we got to talk about the shutdown. Mm-hmm. Because I had somebody who actually told me, and this is a black male, he told me he was losing sleep, waking up upset because somebody shut the country down. Now I haven't noticed it myself, but again, I get a paycheck, where my paycheck normally comes, so it's not interfering with my paycheck. And there's some people where it may be interfering with their paychecks now that...
Well, tax is still coming out of my check, so something's open.
Now that Friday has come, where people have off, I guess important people have off have actually missed a paycheck.
This
I am-
past Friday, yeah.
I am saying all week, as long as you understand what's happening, you get it. See, because it is not what you think it's about. I am here to tell you, it's not what you think it's about. It ain't about the wall. You think it's about the wall because you got a lot of folks saying, it's about the wall, it's about the wall. No, this is about power. Because all those folks who are complaining and saying, will somebody tell you to your face, I ain't gonna give you 1 penny. I ain't gonna give you 1 dime. I ain't gonna give you 1 nickel. That lets you know it's not about the money. It ain't about the money. Because all these folks who are raising hell now, 2 years ago, I've heard clips all week of all these Democratic leaders. I'm for the wall, and we're going to put money, and there's money for the wall, and this and this and this. Now, all of a sudden, not 1 red dime. Somebody said. I said, now, okay, it's got copper in it, but the dime is still silver. It's one of those silver coins. It's intended to be silver. A nickel plated
They
anyway.
mean 1 red cent? Is that what they meant?
Well, I'm saying that maybe what they meant, but that ain't what they said.
Oh,
So you see, what I'm trying to do is trying to tell you how stupid this whole thing is. And if you think it's about the wall, then it's about the wall. But I ain't gonna lose no sleep over none of it, because I know and I understand that it's politics, and the nature of politics is that everybody that was supporting this thing 2 years ago now are not supporting it. So it's not the issue, it's not the wall. It can't be the money.
It can't possibly be the money, because if you can do arithmetic, I'm not talking about math, but arithmetic. For all you people who worry about Common Core math and the new math, go back to the math that you learned in 1962. 5 billion, that's 9 zeros, over 4 trillion is 12 zeros, is 0.12%. It's less than 1/10 of 1%. It's a rounding error.
Keep doing
So
that.
it's not, it can't possibly be about money. Because if it's about money, then none of it makes any sense. Then none of it makes a damn bit of sense if it's about the money. If you look at the failures and the folly of federal government and monies pissed away on stupid stuff,
Yeah. $900 for a hammer.
for 100 times this amount of money.
Right.
So it ain't about money. It can't possibly be. I mean, we don't have, folks, it's not even a budget. This is something they call a continuing resolution. We haven't had a budget since W.
Right.
So what they're doing is something that none of us should do. They're saying, well, we're not going to really budget anything. We're just going to keep spending money at a higher level than before. Who gets to do that?
Who gets to pay for it?
Who gets to do that? Nobody in the world gets to do that. So this again, 1/10 of 1% is not about the money. So don't let anybody fool you by saying, well, it's too much money. Too much money for what? Because it's not about the money.
But the same people that said no to that money, that 1 penny, that $1
Right,
actually,
right.
the same people were the same people that approved $3.1 billion for the cash for clunkers. Well, that was a big deal. That was a big hit.
Oh, yeah.
And then they did refrigerators, I think, after that.
I don't know.
And
Cash
then
for-
also they had
for bad refrigerators.
53.5 billion was to be given for foreign countries.
Oh,
500 million was given last year to
500
help
million.
Saudi Arabia build a wall. 500 million, okay.
$500 million, although I would fight you for $500 million in the street. But when we talk about on this scale, $500 million is nothing.
Yeah.
It just barely exists. So I know, but we around this table hear about those numbers, and we'll take somebody out. I mean, I will embarrass myself on Nebraska and Hillsboro for $500 million at 12 noon on a Friday. I'm gonna tell you. I'm be real. I'm gonna tell you.
Bay News 9.
Bay News 9 will be there. There'll be helicopters.
Visual and you in heels, I don't know.
I
about
will
that.
embarrass myself for about $500 million.
That sounds terrible.
But so for us, that's a lot of dollars. But when we start talking about it in context,
Right.
it's zero,
Right. Yeah.
which is kind of scary. Actually,
And this is the other thing
Because we borrowed it all.
about this week and the shutdown and the wall and all that kind of stuff. You know how many walls around the world the United States is paying for other people to build walls?
Saudi Arabia?
Well, it's
One of
like 20-something countries building walls around their countries with American dollars.
Guatemala, we've helped them.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just saying, people keep, since I talk about it on my Facebook page, people keep sending me pictures of people all over the world building walls with American money.
I think we actually helped out in Afghanistan too, build a wall there.
We did everything in Afghanistan.
Yeah.
Well, Iraq as well, I guess.
Well, it's about time to leave those places. Especially in Afghanistan. Even the Soviets said, "Them people crazy." We about even the Soviets left Afghanistan because they were like, y'all been doing this for 1400 years.
Yeah.
Y'all just do what y'all do.
Yeah.
So the idea is that this is not about a barrier. It's not. Now, you can hate Donald Trump or love Donald Trump. It doesn't matter to me. What I think you have to do is be honest, man. I think people have to be honest.
Yeah.
This is about not giving Trump a victory lap
Any kind of victory.
going into 2020,
Right.
and that's all it's really about.
Right.
It's a knuckle fight for the next 2 years.
So politically, if you are anti-Trump, this is the play. And if I was advising them, this is one of the plays that I would take too. If I was if I was a Trump hater,
Strategy.
or you know what, for a strategic thing, this would be the play. Don't give an inch. Don't give any wins, no matter what happens. He's already said at that meeting with Nancy Pelosi and Beaker.
Beaker.
That he would take responsibility. So let him take responsibility. I mean, if I'm advising on the side, that's the play.
Yeah.
But out here with the rest of us, we must not see it as anything other than what it really is.
Politics.
You're right. It's about power. It's about who's going to be in control of the narrative and who's going to be in control of all the other dollars. That's what it's really about. So to divide us out here for some game they're playing there is ridiculous.
Right. And I'm gonna say this, and then we're gonna introduce our guests and have another conversation that's gonna be more local.
Good.
Is that for some reason people believe us here on Porch Talk Radio are the representatives personally of Trump.
What?
Because somebody called last
Or
week
defenders.
and
Is
wanted
somebody
to have a
getting paid?
battle. He wanted to have
I
a
ain't got no
battle
money.
with me about the Mexicans are going to build the wall. That's what Trump said. Like I'm gonna tell you something. I personally sit nobody on a pedestal, and I don't worship nobody, and I don't look down on people. I'm even keeled.
Where's
I'm
my
gonna
check?
look you in your eye, and I'm gonna talk to you straight, because I'm not afraid of anybody. Because at this point in my life, I don't do a lot of fighting, but I am prepared if I need to. So don't run up on me like you do. Every now and then you hear about these people running up on folks and throwing stuff and doing stuff. See, I'm old school.
Or asking for a straw.
I ain't turning the extra cheek. You do good because I believe in guns. I'm on them old school. I done told you I got a bunch of guns. So if I have to shoot somebody and go to jail, I proudly do it. Especially if they mess with my family. So don't do and think that it's a bunch of folks you hear and they're conservative and they mild-mannered. Wrong set. I'm just telling you. So I'm throwing that out there now. So I am not Trump's defender,
Yeah.
but I tell you what I believe and I tell you what I think. And I am always, like this young lady that's sitting with us, I'm always looking out for my community. My community, my family come first, then the community. So in that order. So I'm making sure that good things happen, when we do what we do, and that I am not here and we're not here on this radio show to defend Trump. But we're going to put it out there so you got two sides, because you always only get one side of that coin. And if you're not listening to Porch Talk Radio, you're not going to get the other source of that coin. And some people even listen to Fox Radio, but Fox Radio
Don't do that either.
don't break it down to the way we explain it, because we black, and I say we black, and when we talk to the community just like I'm talking to you face to face. I just happen to have a microphone in front of me. So I am going to put some stuff out to you. I called this lady the other day, and I said, my heart got wind. Old school church folks understand when your heart gets some wind. When you see something, you hear something, and then a few, I guess, days or weeks later, the wind went out my sail, cause I called to find out. I said, Connie, I saw where you running for city council. Boy, some good days coming. Cause I was already visualizing, Connie sitting up there in the city council seats, and somebody coming up there and with some bogus stuff, and Connie just letting them have it. I mean, I was already visualizing that. I was looking forward to 2 years or 4 years of that. I was gonna come to city council meeting just for the show. So I said, Connie, I called her. I consider Connie to be a good friend. So I called Connie. I said, Connie, I heard that you was running, and then I heard you wasn't running. So, and I'm quite sure a lot of people in the community wanted to know, as I did. They just didn't have a cell phone number. So I called her, and when we got through the conversation, I said, well, why don't you come on the show and tell people that story? So I'm going to say great, good, honorable friend, person, Connie Burton is sitting here, and we're going to talk about that. Welcome, Connie.
Good morning, all power to the people, and I'm always enlightened when I'm at this table. I really appreciate it. I do. I listen. I'm learning, and it gives me an opportunity to balance out things. So I appreciate it, and I definitely appreciate our friendship.
Yes, thank you.
So with that, Eddie, you called me, and I want to thank you for allowing me to come in, because several people are still approaching me like, what can I do to help you win?
Right. Mm-hmm.
And of course, when I thought about it, and I wish I would have given it some thought
A little bit more, yeah.
earlier in the game. But
Right.
when I thought about it and went downtown to file, I went by myself and fill out the application to run for city council. I had about 14 days before the deadline to file by petition, because I felt like that would be my best inroad in terms of touching base with people, talking, making contact, on and on and on. Whereas those that had made a decision earlier
Right.
almost had 2 months in the game.
Right.
So with 14 days down, I just thought it would be a disservice and a setup without putting together a strategic plan for a victory.
Okay.
I feel like, there's about 5 or 6 candidates that's running, and people come to their own conclusion as to the why. But for me, my dedication, like you said, family, community, I intertwine family and community all in one with me. And so that's going to always be first on my plate.
Okay.
I'm going to always be dug in real strongly and fighting for the issues of the African community, whether I'm sitting in the chambers or not. I was somewhat saddened with my decision not to run, because I felt like, just in speaking to people, like we get a chance to measure our effect on our community based on our service. I felt like I had let the community down because of the response of people saying, I really needed you there. And I said, well, I don't need to be there to continue to doing what I'm doing. We need to get that out of our minds, because anybody that's representing our community, whether it is a city council, mayor, or president, hopefully they are taking on these positions to know that they're there as a servant of the people. And so in serving the people, we can do it at various different levels. And so that's what I plan on continuing to do.
All right. See, because again, a lot of people in Connie's inner circle, I also know. So I actually talked with them before I had talked to Connie. And then one of them was real, she almost got indignant. You call her. So she said, you call Connie. I said, yes, I call Connie. I'm going to go home and take a nap, get a little eat, then I call Connie. So I gave, so she could feel sure that I was going to follow through. I wasn't going to immediately call her. I had a couple of things. I had been working hard and doing this radio and sweating and all that kind of stuff, and I was getting me a bite to eat. So I so she would understand. I would call Connie for the day was over. And the other thing about talking to Connie is because Connie had been to the Saturday morning breakfast group, a few weeks ago, and this morning we talked to mayoral candidate Jane Castor. So some of what Connie has said came up in our conversation with her, and all the mayoral candidates that we have talked to since Connie has been there, because Connie came there and kind of put it on the line. This is what the community needs. These are the things we're looking for. And she was down straight to the ground with it. She wasn't trying to, lift anybody up or a grandstand and doing that kind of stuff. She said, but the people need these kind of things. So as another group that represents and try to do things good for the community, we've kind of enforced and implied and directed those same kind of issues toward all these different people who want to be our next mayor, because they may not get it directly from Connie, but they don't get it indirectly from us, because those are feelings and concerns of the community.
I really want to appreciate the article that was written in the Times from James Ransom, laying out the pathway for the mayor's race has to come through the African community, and everybody understand that. When the vote is going to be split in several different ways, I think it's about 6 candidates there too, as well, right?
Yeah. No, it's going to be 8. And I heard right there standing in the lobby that Dick Greco's son is running, and some more people. So they got till the 18th, which is, I think, is Friday. So that all those races may pile up between now and Friday.
Okay. And so, but the thing that we know, and this has been a historical inroad, is that you got to come through our door.
Right.
And no more should we allow any candidate, I don't care if they look like us, I don't care if they of a different gender, I don't care if they smiled and waved at us once upon a time. Now we have very, we got real specific needs on the table.
That's right.
And they have to be addressed. And no more on the back end. We have to see all this stuff on the front end.
That's right.
If you can't make a commitment now on the front end of letting the whole, ain't no 2 more conversation, one that you have with black folks, and then when you get in South Tampa, you don't remember what you told us.
Yeah, that's right.
That conversation got to be carried everywhere.
Right.
Because we know that, excuse me, when a candidate win, they surely know what's going to be the end game for them. Moving forward from here thus far, when we give our votes, we should know solidly what we going to get to hold people accountable.
That's right.
And that has been the missing element all along. We allowed the existing mayor to sweet talk the community. I remember Bob Buck.
Baby hug
Oh,
and kiss.
my God.
Oh, he's the most, people like sugar.
Oh, he can almost sit in the pastor's seat
That's right.
in any black church.
Right.
And I was clear on, I knew who Bob Buckhorn was. And it has panned out to be true. And so as we have grown politically, moving forward, we would know that anybody representing us, even from who's going to be the city council person representing our interests, all the way to the county commissioner, and thus for what we going to get back. How is it going to benefit our children's lives? We just can't continue to move on, Ed, in my opinion, with this metaphor. We got to pull ourselves up by the bootstraps, and we see everything in the community growing by leaps and bounds. And then we look at our community, even with our own tax-based money, we don't have control of that. And so I feel like I'm in a good position. I feel like, and I hope I live to be 130 and on and on and on. Mm-hmm. But I believe that history has an accounting for all of us based on our work and our relationship that we want to have on this thing in terms of activism. Our credibility means everything, because normally activists don't have no money.
Right.
We have our word and our work, right?
Yeah.
And so I'm feeling that
that's it.
Our word and our work. And so with the work that we put in, we believe that we're going to get a seat at the table.
That's right.
And if we can't get a seat on the inside, we're going to be outside building our own table and making life so disruptively hard for you to continue on with your path if you think you're going to ignore our community any longer.
Well, I'm going to tell you something that's real exciting for me, because when I first started doing radio and doing this kind of show, first started doing Porch Talk Radio, we had no black folks running for anything other than the black seats. That was in 2010. And I've been saying it the whole time, whatever the format was, whatever kind of setup, radio, TV, both, whatever it was, I've been telling folks in the black community, we are too big a community to settle. I mean, we know District 5, we're going to have somebody black. We know District 3 in the county commission, we're going to have somebody black. And we're going to have one black senator, we're going to have one black house rep, all that kind of stuff. Okay, but it's been so long that we have settled for that. It's been over 50 years since they fought that fight, and we have not went any further. So, but this year, we got some, I'm going to say it like this, we got some good new black blood. And they ran for all kind of slots and all kind of positions. And we got, I mean, I looked at the thing the other day, we have 4 blacks running for city council for the city of Tampa. Yes. I mean, different district, not all of them in District 5. We got some in District 1, we got some in District 3, we got some in District 5, and we got some in District 7. I mean, we got black folks in 4 different city districts running for city council, which means we know we're going to win 5. All we got to do is win 1 more to have improved our representation in city council.
Well, Eddie, you spoke it. You've been preaching it.
I have been.
You led by example, and so now we're in a good position that if these are the best candidate, because just because you feel like the name, hopefully, they have a resume and a commitment to service that the people will rally behind them and come March the 5th, we would cast our vote for them. I believe to be an effective, and I've never ran on that level, but I've served my community to know accountability.
Yeah.
And so if you're going to be accountable to the cause, accountable to the mission, if the people can relate to your platform, you should be able to see victory.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You should be able to see victory.
And the good thing about this at this time, Connie, is that if South Tampa had not had 5 candidates running for mayor, it traditionally selects anything that goes through South Tampa. So if it's a county, if it's a citywide race, guess who picks the people? It ain't East Tampa, it ain't West Tampa, it's South Tampa. But now they got so many different candidates running for mayor and running for all this other stuff, till they're gonna split up South Tampa. So we don't have to, as a whole community, as a whole county, live with their picks. We get to do some picking of our own this year.
Oh, yes.
And we're going to make sure folks understand. So, because if South Tampa elects the mayor is always beholden to South Tampa. Mm-hmm. Well, as East Tampa and West Tampa, if we select the mayor, that SOB better be beholden to us the same way they have been to South Tampa. And understand that South Tampa, folks in the South Tampa, y'all didn't pick the mayor this time. We did. So that's why it's so powerful an opportunity for us as a community to join base and make sure we get a mayor that and all of them are pointing finger, and they got black folks in their campaigns, which none of them had before, but now all of a sudden they got at least a black face that they showing to black folks and saying, well, I got somebody black on my campaign. That ain't enough, So again, we looking at changes. We looking at a metamorphosis. That's a big word. I know we got to call. I thought you said we had to call. We got a metamorphosis in the way people outside the community look at the community, because for some reason or another, East Tampa got a big old shield on it. It's like everything around East Tampa is growing, and you can see it. We got to call her, but let me finish this thought. Everybody can see that everything around East Tampa is growing. North, south, east, west, everything around East Tampa is growing, but East Tampa. So we're going to get some people who don't live in East Tampa to come put some money in East Tampa and make sure East Tampa benefit from the prosperity of the city of Tampa. Call and welcome to Porch Talk Radio on this Saturday morning. We sitting here talking with one of the main community leaders who make things happen and get things done here in the city of Tampa. Welcome. What say you?
What say you, Eddie Adams?
Joe Robinson.
Loud, Adams.
You got Connie Burton in there, so that's one
Okay, okay.
I know, I don't know if you know, but I have, here's what everybody in the community said, we need more blacks running different seats. So I will be running in two.
Okay.
Solid Miranda.
Okay.
District, citywide. So
Oh.
everybody in the whole city, you don't have to know what district I'm in. I'm running citywide. And my number one issue is affordable housing.
Okay.
Okay? And I got others, but I just want to announce, I already said, I think 2 shows. I want to make sure your show
Okay.
know about it, because I done been on both sides of the fence, and I agree with everything y'all are talking about. And I feel that my skill set with engineering and business and community activism for no pay speaks for itself. I'm not trying to placate for the Times, because I don't think they're going to endorse me, but Joe Robinson running on faith, because my motto is walk by faith, not by sight. And if we're going to do something now, I think now is the time for me to get out there again citywide. I haven't ran in the city in years. Get out there citywide, offer my service, because I don't need the money. Okay, I don't need the money for running for office. What I need is your prayers and your vote. And if y'all want to get somebody in there that's going to listen, know the issues, fight for the cause like Connie do, and keep it real, and get that budget right, and get east, west, straighten out, up front, north and south, come at the end, let me know. Because all I need is your vote and your prayers. And maybe somebody might send me some money, but money is not the reason I'm running. I'm running because I want to make sure and provide my expertise as an engineer and a businessman and a community activist, and keep it real with that budget. And try to set up on this last thing, set up an affordable housing trust and flip this code enforcement into the opportunity to create affordable housing instead of just taking houses and creating all these liens and fines on everybody. And I'm an expert on what went down with that. So I'm going to leave it at that. And one last thing, transportation, 2 with transit, 3 is economic development, 4 is historical preservation, believe it or not, and 5 is quality of life. How do we deal with those quality of life things that everybody's talking about in East and West Tampa? We want the same quality of life. And I'm going to leave it at that, because that also deals with public safety. I want to thank you for letting me call it in. Eddie Adams show, you heard it first. And if I can get any support from anybody in the room, it would be greatly appreciated. And with that said, if you got any questions, let me know. If not, I'm going to get off the phone and sit here and work on my strategy, man.
All right, Joe. All right, Joe. Thank you. Thank you for calling in. And Joe Robinson is another scrapper. Joe scraps on a different level, but Joe's been fighting the battle and fighting the establishment for a number of years. And he just did. I'm gonna tell you, he lost in a runoff to that school board seat. Mm-hmm. So again, Joe put in a hell of a battle and should have won, but he didn't win. And again, I'm gratefully thanking Joe that he didn't stop, because one thing I've kind of learned. I ran for U.S. Congress 4 times myself. And I ran for city council in the city of Tampabay. So that's kind of where I started. That's my political history. But once you get into this game, advancing is difficult. But the most important thing about it, every time you run, you learn. And that's what they can't take from you. See, that's the important part. You can't watch it on TV, and you can't listen to people on the radio talk about it. You got to get in it. Because once you in it, it ain't what you thought it was. See, and that's the important part. And some folks have been lucky because they got in at one time and have already run. Some people take them 4 or 5 times to run for 4 or 5 different slots or whatever they do, before they win. But I think this community is changing. The face of leadership in this community is going to change.
Yes.
So one way or the other, yes. This ain't the same as it was 10 years ago when I first started preaching to folks, run for something other than the black seats. We got people running for all of them, and that's good. And it can't do anything but get better.
You know what? I'm excited. I'm excited of just knowing that we got a large pool of people, Joe entering the race. That it just can't be taken or given to the opponent or the incumbent.
Right. That
somebody has to come in there and challenge your record. Now you have to stand up and be accountable for what you did or did not do throughout the years. As far as the mayor's race, we don't care about who the Times endorse or who the mayor get behind.
Have never cared.
We don't care about that, because when we go inside that ballot booth, my vote is my business.
That's right.
And so now I'm going to be able to evaluate you based on who you are, what you did, how you, especially me, I'm going to be saying what you did to my people. And if you got some notorious stuff out there hanging, you might as well put a line through your name as far as I'm concerned. Because you're done. And it don't matter to me, male, female. You know, if people can't see, like you said, that Connie might not be to the right of us, I'm on the right side all the time.
There you go.
I'm on the right side all the time. And that's how we got to move. You know, not no friendship, not something somebody did for your personal favor 20 years. How, under that person's leadership, is going to be for the better good of our community. And that what Joe is saying, that right now, they have hijacked this word of affordable housing.
Oh, hell yeah.
We can't even say affordable housing now because they measure it now against a $2 million home and tell you that a house costing inside of the African community around $300,000 is a cheap deal. While, you know, we got people living in very dangerous situation. I know of a family, and my heart bleeds every time I see this sister. She's living in an extended stay hotel, paying about $1,400 a month because there's no affordable housing, public housing.
Yeah.
No affordable public housing. So the trade-off for public housing has been to spend the night in the county jail or to get in line at the Metropolitan Ministry. And so we need leadership to think outside the box.
Right.
And so what we have now inside of East Tampa, a very controlled environment as it relates to relationship with developers and who's allowed to be at the table. And we all know the history of Domain Homes and the 100 lots that was given to them. But if we would have had a forward-thinking mayor that would have wanted everybody to feel inclusive and a part of this city, those 100 lots could have been given in a lottery drawing for people that was prepared to move forward inside of our community. That's how you make people have ownership and take pride.
Right.
A lot of times when I go to some of these neighborhood meetings, it is the same drumbeat. It's the people's fault. It's the people's fault. But we have political leadership that when the people cannot think on the next level, it is our responsibility to help elevate them, right?
Right.
And that has not been the progression of the city of Tampa because everything is so beautifully laid out. I'm downtown. I'm like, where did all this stuff come from? And I come to understand this, Eddie, that poverty becomes the pedestal for the rise of so many other things in this city. People write grants, people get money, people get support, people get tax breaks and lien. They all have to say they connected to a blighted community. All they have to use is the number of children that get free lunch, people that live below the poverty level. And so they use all these parameters to say this is why we need all of this stuff, which never comes inside of our community and benefit us. And everybody has been pimping our community. And so what we have to say moving forward, that I have a responsibility not to leave it off to the next generation. My grandson and my great-grandson shouldn't have to come 50 years from now and try to figure out why, if we are celebrating the legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King and we look east and west and all we see is poverty.
And see, and the other thing, Connie, this is something that I have on my thing every year. Every show is some things that affect the whole entire community. And something ain't nobody else saying is they got $13 billion coming to downtown Tampa.
Yes.
And it's kind of popping up in corners here and there. You see it, but nobody's talking about it. It's just coming. $13 billion, that's a lot of darn money. You could actually build a wall with that. Just throwing some stuff out there. But the fact of the matter, how do that $13 billion miss East Tampa?
Not a penny.
Yeah. It's like somebody put a wall up. No money crosses this wall, crosses this barrier. $13 billion. Another thing, folks, ain't nobody talking about it. And I'm telling you something, we'll talk about it when it's too late. Is they got a freaking Super Bowl coming to Tampa in a couple of years, and ain't nobody in the black community prepared. Ain't nobody making plans. Ain't nobody making demands. all that stuff should be happening now. You know, folks on Porch Talk Radio, you know, I would say stuff. I told Connie once before, don't tell me no secret, because I'm going to tell the community what I think they need to know. And so if they let me know it, I'm going to let the community know it. And that's what we do.
You know, last night I was at an event at Riverfront Park, which is completely different. And we all
call it Riverfront Park?
I call it Riverfront Park. I call it Riverfront
They call
Park
it something
forever.
else.
Wharf.
No. It's called Julian Lane Riverfront Park.
Yeah, there you go. Okay.
So I was on an event, and I just showed Sister Connie a picture that I took of what downtown Tampa looks like.
Yeah.
And if you're
Beautiful.
if you're wondering where the money is, if you're wondering what happened to the money
And
What
where
happened?
$13 billion
and where this money is going,
Yeah.
check out I'm going to put this picture on the Porch Talk Radio Facebook page, and you'll be able to see where the money is. All that Tampa Heights area, with the exception of Julia Jackson's home that is still there. I told y'all the story.
Yeah.
Without this woman, I don't know where I'd be, and she's gone on to glory. But on that lane, all those homes where people used to live.
Yes.
Most of those houses didn't have mortgages anymore. Most of them never had a mortgage, let alone with $300,000. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, gone.
So they are all gone. And what you see, and the picture that's going to be up on the Porch Talk Radio page in about 15 seconds, is that's where the money went.
Yeah.
And none of it trickled down Palm and made a right or made a left of Nebraska. Not a nickel.
Nothing. No.
And the analogy to use of a wall, it must have been some sort of big invisible wall.
Yeah.
And people have been mentioning the mayor, and quite frankly, I don't have a problem with saying Bob Buckhorn and the Yellow Shirts campaigned huge in East Tampa and got a lot of black people to support him at the exclusion of Pastor Scott.
Yeah.
And promised them the world. I'm going to say it. I promised them the world. And they have not gotten a thing. There's not one thing that Bob Buckhorn, and Bob, you have my phone number. He has my cell phone number. Call me and we'll go together. And you can tell me what you have as your legacy in East Tampa.
That's right.
One thing. I need one thing. One thing, and I might apologize.
Plant a palm tree.
One thing.
One palm tree.
The last I heard from Bob Buckhorn about East Tampa was, and it was actually VME board, that he was throwing rocks at Trinity Cafe. You saw that?
Yes.
He was throwing rocks at Trinity Cafe. People who I've volunteered a number of times there, they do God's work there in that place under the most ridiculous conditions. That's the last thing that he said about that area of town. If you go down Palm and make a left, toward East Tampa. Am I right?
Yeah.
Okay.
But politicians look for votes, guys.
Well,
He's
you know
looking for
what?
Votes, and if he can't get them or think you got money to go
We
with,
can't
he
get
ain't gonna
fooled.
do it.
We
He
can't
ain't
get
gonna do
fooled
it.
like that again.
Now, based on Bob Buckhorn legacy, lesson learned moving forward.
There you go.
Anybody that he recommends
Oh.
to be the mayor,
Oh, no endorsement
Yeah.
needed.
That same
Any-
line across.
Yeah.
anybody that Bob Buckhorn endorsed is deemed an enemy of East Tampa.
Enemy of the people. Enemy of the
Should be
people.
an enemy of the people because they will be toting and cannot make no commitment to change the economic condition of our community. And you know what we see, Eddie, and we've had this discussion. Even when the community have like these CRAs that's developed to help lift the community in some kind of self-determination fashion, where the community can make a decisions on the path in which
Right.
they want to move
Right.
economically, that's even being controlled by its office.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
All we
yeah.
see in East Tampa is 1 million retention ponds,
Ain't no water gonna get out of there.
a police substation being built with $9 million being spent on that. You can't hold a banquet inside the building.
Nope.
The retention pond, the police substation, we're getting more and more roundabouts, and no money could be set aside for homes, rehabs, economic development, because it's all being controlled by the downtown staff. And so when we are at these meetings, and you've been there,
I know.
it's about disruption.
Right.
But we're taking it to a new level. Like you say, what's the plan for the Super Bowl? What's the plan for the Super Bowl? It's no way we can allow people to come in, because we got time to plan.
We do. That's why we putting it out there.
We got
So ain't nobody
time
else
to
talking about
plan.
it.
We're going to do a day of service on the 18th. to show people when we talk about affordable home, we expect you to get in line. We're going to choose a developer and go and stand in front of their building. We're talking about affordable homes.
That's
You're
right.
not talking about them, but you're in our community, and so we need you to get on our page.
That's right.
We're going to be planning out that if we don't have what we need before the Super Bowl, the mayor's election is March the 5th. Whomever wins, they're going to have their plate already full on how to come and satisfy the residents of East Tampa. And so we're going to be building. We're beyond talking.
That's right.
We have a real strategy. We say that for affordable housing for our community, people that work at Walmart, people that's working at McDonald's, and need to have, a decent and safe place to live, maybe we have to do something different.
Right.
Maybe it can't be the same traditional house. And so if you can't think that way, then the people have a responsibility to lay out a path
Put
forward.
it out that way.
That's right.
Because me and Connie are Facebook friends also, and I saw she already done posted the latest roundabout, and it was where is it?
34th and Osborne.
The 34th and Osborne.
34th and Osborne.
Yeah.
Who told them that we needed a roundabout? The East Tampa.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Jesus.
There's actually a red light there.
A red light.
And they're going to take the red light out and put in a roundabout.
I say either somebody went to Europe and saw all these
And fell in
roundabouts
love
and
with
got
them.
and fell in love with them.
'Cause they are
And
out
let me
there.
tell you something.
Holy Jesus.
I don't see them in no other community at this rate
Nope.
that they are in East Tampa.
Right.
Right?
No.
But when the community can't get what we want, to continue to have a city staff workers continue to be, busy throughout the day and to spend our money frivolously,
Busy work.
they are doing what they want to
That's
do.
right.
And we have a CRA chair and they have a board.
Right.
And
Yeah.
the chairperson is Natasha Goodley.
Yep.
She ran an election. She won. She beat Miss Best, coming in my opinion, in the same path in which, eating at the same trough.
Right. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Don't have no new creative
Right,
ideas
yeah.
of their own. We have Ed Johnson standing on the backs of the community because he's a city employer
That's
and
right.
he's directing the
Employee.
He is the conductor.
Right.
He conducts the train in East Tampa and he's dictating how things should be, even though they give this false facade as if it has some sense of democracy and it's up to the people and you can come and chime in. But I tell you what, Eddie, it used to be a time when I used to have to run by myself, and every now and then I find somebody who will come and support me. But when you just like them beat the drums and beat at the drums and beat at the drums, you know what? People's eyes are
They
open.
start listening.
People are listening. You're telling people to not just go for that one seat. People
That's right.
now then spread it out.
That's right.
And we're going to keep on this train until we get a housing stock that can reseed our community.
All those vacant lots.
All those vacant lots
Go
and more,
That's right.
so we can have real economic development in our community,
Right.
so we can determine the pathway in which we move forward. I hear people talk about school challenges. The reason why we got so many school challenges is that what inspires a child that has to get up every morning and look out the door and see the same buildings that our mama say was there and a grandmother said it was there, the same economic structure,
Right.
don't see no change, and somehow they believe just going to school and being educated gonna transform this when everybody else that went to school ain't nothing happened.
Right.
It
Yeah.
take more than just talk.
Well, see, and this is the other thing, and this is, and I'm gonna have to get the on this day in history in.
Why?
Oh, wow.
is what happens in all the rest of the districts in the city of Tampa? People come from Tampa Terrace, North Tampa, everywhere, go to South Tampa to do commerce, to spend money.
Yes.
They do the same to North Tampa. They do the same to Town and Country. Nobody leaves somewhere else to come to East Tampa to spend money. See, that's a problem. See, 'cause we have no economic engines, even though the CRA got close to $3 million to help improve the community, but part of that improvement has got to be to create or generate a base of properties that's going to generate money that has cash flow coming from other areas into the community, and then that allows the community to grow. The community don't grow, and no dollars find their way into the community from all these other sources of dollars flowing to Tampa, is because there's no economic engine in East Tampa. I'm saying that out loud. I want somebody to hear it. You got to have an economic engine that generates money. And as long as something is generating money, it will continue to generate money. It will grow. And at some point in time, you can have some kind of facility in East Tampa that will house more than 100 people. I mean, you get a 500,000 seat something there. Okay, that's another money generator. A couple of people will come, people will rent it, people will use it. Shopping stores, retail stores, outlets, stuff like that. You could take 3 or 4 blocks and turn it into another, I ain't gonna say mall, but something like that where people come to spend money.
Yes.
And if you don't have that, your community will keep looking like East Tampa does. And I'm not picking on West Tampa because white folks kind of taking over West Tampa, so it don't even belong to black folks no more. I'm just speaking truth. So we used to call West Tampa black, but if you look over there now, see what happened to West Tampa. They got a river. And white folks are drawn to water like that. So, and again, I'm saying this on the radio. So you ain't gonna keep all that water from the white folks, with schools and stuff like that, because they could buy a school, move those schools, and put up some big money-making buildings, and everybody gonna be good and satisfied. And then what's gonna happen? It's gonna be West Tampa, but it won't be black no more.
All right. They got all the amenities that they need, and this is fact. Black people spend money. We spend money, like I was saying the other night, and I mean this, I'm like you, I'm a straight shooter. And when people say, I can't believe you're tearing down another black woman, because I've been real hard on several people, right? But you know what? It goes both ways. Because my grandmother used to tell me, criticism is a balancing act.
There you go.
Figure out if people criticizing, what have you done, or what could you do to improve it? Take a sharp look at what you're doing and seeing what you can do to change the course of direction so you can bring more people on board. But all these little baby crybaby tears, don't bother me. I'm just getting in my post. The clock is ticking.
That's right.
The clock is ticking. One thing I appreciate about Donald Trump, when he got to the White House, he was on his own playbook.
That's right.
He was on his own playbook.
Still on his own
He
playbook.
ain't saying nothing about let me finish out somebody else's work.
That's right.
And so when we are taking power, we want position of power. That's the way we're supposed to move.
Yep.
And a sense of urgency that exists in our community right now. We just 9 or 10 days in, and we done had several murders, several young people that lost their lives. This cycle continues because there's no hope.
Right.
It's a deep sense of hopelessness, and the leadership has a responsibility to step up. I plan on being at the county commission meeting. People shouldn't count me out because my name won't be on the ballot. It will be on the ballot. Because every time I get 3 minutes to go to that podium,
That's right.
I'm telling you what I expect of you. I'm telling you what I expect of you.
Good.
When I see the people that's the developers in our community and I don't see nothing that's going to benefit our community, I'm telling you, I have that responsibility. Whether I am elected through the paper route, I have been elected by the community.
There you go.
I have been elected to be a spokesperson, and I'm going to keep on doing my
Duty.
my duty
There you go.
until there's nothing else to do. When we say the job well done, and we got a ways to go yet.
Well,
All
it's
right,
safe
thank
to
you,
say
thank
that
you.
people are tired of what's been going on. It hasn't been working.
Yes.
And I've driven through there myself. I make sure my windows rolled up. I don't want to be in the middle of the night. God bless all the people that have to be there. I understand. I've lived in those neighborhoods when I was growing up. But the city is diverting the money elsewhere.
Purposely.
And the fact, I mean, if you went 275 and Dale Mabry, they got a brand new thing they're doing up in there, little shopping area all together. Oh my goodness, they dropped some money
Oh, yeah.
right in that little corner
Oh, yeah.
there.
They calling that Midtown or something.
Yeah, but they ain't doing nothing for the Hispanic neighborhoods either. So I'm just saying, if the old way didn't work, we got to change it, folks. This is like insanity. We're going to keep saying the same thing. We're going to keep doing the same thing. We're going to keep getting the same thing, which is nothing helpful to the people that need the help.
Yes.
So it's time for a change, not lip service, but doing it.
I'll be real quick because Eddie is chomping at the bit to get to this day in history thing.
Go.
Get it done.
I mean, I think part of what everyone has said is that not only do we keep doing the same thing, I think we keep supporting the same people. I think your comment about eating from the same trough was just is really enlightening because we keep not only supporting the same people again and again, but we still keep supporting the same ideas. because they keep coming from the same type of people
Yes.
again and again, as opposed to someone who says at a meeting, I was on the CRA board for about a minute and a half until I figured out that no one was interested in anything that I said that they hadn't already talked about. Frankly, they weren't interested in anything I hadn't already talked about. I talked about what we need to do in East Tampa is we need to start being a hub for citywide Wi-Fi. So young people come and live and work in those areas and be known for something other than the stuff that we're known for now.
Shooting, killing.
Yeah, other than whatever it is.
Ah.
Can we be known for something different? And other cities have done citywide Wi-Fi, and they all looked at me like I had 3 heads.
Yeah, you do.
And I might. And I might. And it took a couple of more ideas like that to have me think, nobody's interested in anything I have to say. They just want to continue doing the same thing they want to do. And you know what? And what's the saying? If you do what you've always done,
You'll
you will
get
get
what
what
you
you've
always
always
got.
And that lip service that was been electing for years
Right.
has been Democrat controlled for so many years,
Yeah.
and it just hasn't worked.
I don't care who.
Time for
I don't,
change.
I don't care. The
People
idea.
just care about the community, what's
I don't.
important.
I don't care about
And
the
that's
party.
what's
Just do something that works. I don't
Yeah.
care.
All right, on this day in history, January the 12th, in 1879, the British Zulu War began. I know a lot of y'all didn't know that. It was a British Zulu War.
That was around then.
Yeah, it began when the British invaded Zululand. And again, we just kind of make sure we get hit on some of this stuff we ain't never got in school. On this day, on January 12th in 1932, Hattie W. Caraway became the first woman elected to the U.S. Senate. On this day, 1942, U.S. President Roosevelt created the National War Labor Board. And this is something they were talking about on the show before, but I had already printed this out and didn't know that they were going to talk about it. But on this day in 2000, the U.S. Supreme Court, in a 5-4 ruling, gave police broad authority to stop and question people who ran at the site of an officer. So if you saw a policeman and you just started running, they're going to chase you. And the U.S. Supreme Court gave them that right. So they give rights and rules to everybody in the country. So it ain't like a local court or somebody, a state court that did it. The U.S. Supreme Court gave folks that right. And us folks here on Porch Talk Radio just reminding you that there's some stuff out there that you know ain't right, but unless you start doing something to make and draw attention to it, they're going to keep doing it. All right, let's do some final remarks here, Gabriel. And then we're going to just go around the table.
Unfortunately, folks, if we just look at the history, every major city in America that has been Democratic controlled for many years has had the same results. The poor have stayed poor, they've not gotten worse, and they've just been forgotten. It's just history, folks. We need a change. And like this wonderful lady said, I don't care what the party is, are they doing what's right for the community, and that's really the bottom line. And what we know is if we keep doing what we've been doing, we're going to keep getting what we keep getting.
Connie.
I think 2019, people didn't think we would survive going into 2000. We 19 years in now, all right?
Yeah.
And so now we have, I think, a wonderful opportunity in our observation and learning to say, what have we learned historically and moving in practices in our decisions politically, economically? What can we do now to change for the betterment of our community? I am committed to working with anybody that can see that for the betterment of people to have a safe, sound community, we need a better economic engine to run through outside of our community so we can inspire hope and inspiration for every generation.
Willie.
Yeah, you know, it's always been about the money. Don't let other people who come in and blow smoke up your dress and tell you about flowers and sunshine and unicorns tell you something other than the money. Because we know that it's always been about the money. Go down to Julian Lane Riverfront Park, look across the river, and see where the money is.
There you go.
Go to Nebraska and Columbus Drive and see if it looks anything like that, if it's even moving in that direction.
That's right.
And I really don't care the party that does it. I don't really care because I don't get any money from any of them anyway. But what I do know is that what we've been told year after year, since I've been paying attention as a youngster, none of that stuff has come to fruition.
None of it's working.
Not one bit of it. And unless we decide that we're going to stop being told the same thing, stop believing the same lies, stop operating on the same false narratives, nothing will change. So, you know what? People talk about being woke. That's what I'm talking about, being woke.
Yes, sir.
Big time.
And I tell you guys, and then we gotta go off. We're going off there here pretty soon. The good thing about it is I told you guys for a whole year we were going to do career fairs and we were going to do all kind of stuff and to make the community better. I started welding school on Tuesday. Yeah,
Awesome.
I'm at Irwin Votech. It's a 1-year program.
Yes.
And
They gonna let you use the hot stuff?
and one of my
Jesus,
instructors told me that they got welders and he know welders and even himself at one point in time were making $4,000 and $5,000 a week welding. Something that you can learn to do in 1 year. Get up off your ass, find something you want to do, and go do it.
All right.
Thank you, Tampa Bay. Until next week, same bat time, same bat station.
Still
Folks here at Porch Talk Radio,
God bless
we love
America.
you. Bye-bye.
There we go.
You got a crew.
That's how we do it.
There you go.
Yeah.
Thank you.